At the end of Wilds, you'll face the absolute wall that is Arshan weapon farming. Whether you're going for the perfect rolls or just trying to build a weapon for every element, the game pushes you towards the inevitable abyss of Arshan weapons. Though previous titles will do the same for decorations or talismans, Wilds decides to mix it up by barely mixing anything. If you want to fight something in Wilds, open up your map, check the field. If there's a good quest, save it as an investigation for later. If there's nothing you want to fight, rest, pray, and check again. Let's say you found the monster you want to fight after either resting or doing a few quests to change the time. The monster you want is there, but if you look at the rewards, they're kind of bad. Still better than nothing though, so we'll do it, save it, and do it again, all the while checking your map to see if any new monsters we need pop up. However, very quickly, you will see that you end up fighting the same monsters over and over again. Not necessarily because they show up more often, although Arkfeld has more locations so the chances are higher, I'm pretty sure, but because they just have better rewards. So, for myself and a handful of others I've talked to, we have a large amount of fights against either Arkveld or Gormagala. They showed up more often, and on top of that, they provided more rewards. On occasion, the Apexes show up. We would save them as an investigation since, like it was previously mentioned, some rewards are better than others, and doing these to reset the map instead of resting can help. Right? You can save some points, whatever, and the rewards are better than nothing. Regardless though, it was clear that Arkveld and Gormagala were the go-to hunts for Arshan weapon farming. Now, if we list it out, right, there are currently Raydao, Uthduna, Nuudra, Jindahad. Add in Arkveld, Gormagala, what else we got? Zoshia, and who came with Mizutune? You have a total of 8 monsters to farm tier 8 Arshan weapon parts. 8 monsters. Despite that, I've still fought Arkveld and Gormagala each more than 5 times the amount of the other monsters combined. Maybe even 10 times the amount combined. The rewards are better and they show up more often, so the incentive to fight the others just isn't there. These are just... Keep in mind, these are just the apexes. The other monsters in the game have at most 2, maybe 3 clears, and I know for sure I've fought some of them a single time. So some of them have literally 1 clear. Right? The only other time at endgame, right? This is all endgame we're talking about here. The only other time I fight the other monsters are when there are dual hunts, right? So dual hunts aren't that common, but when they occur, it is not guaranteed to have an apex with another monster. It is less likely for it to be 2 apexes, even less likely for it to be a tempered apex and another monster, and even less likely for it to be 2 tempered apex monsters. Okay? In case you've never seen the duo tempered, you have to complete the side quest. So make sure you do that, right? You got to do the side quests to see the duo tempered monsters. You just don't fight things very often, and the rewards for the dual hunts just isn't there. Okay, when you do get a perfect roll for the dual hunts, the rewards are genuinely crazy. Okay, you get so much. Not crazy enough to get paralysis, attack, cracked disc, but still crazy enough. While playing the game, I just couldn't figure out why the game felt so short and so small. I thought it was the roster and the quick hunt times, and even though they do contribute to that, I realized it was the lack of variety in the endgame. When I'm fighting the same 2-4 monsters on repeat to farm... Listen to this, okay? You fight the same 2 to 4 monsters on repeat, right? To farm RNG spawning monsters that give RNG amount of rewards, that give RNG weapon parts that craft into additional RNG stats. Yeah, it was literally this hell of a content loop that made me only want to hop on for a few hours every time there's an update with additional content. That's it. You know, in the past, past titles, I enjoyed fighting a variety of high rank monsters that all contributed to the end game farming that Monster Hunter typically has, right? And I think Wilds needs to create some type of incentive to fight other monsters. I don't know if that means allowing some of the upper tiers to be able to give out tier 8s as a reward, or to increase the chances of Tempered Apex and other monsters as dual hunts, so that you don't just get you don't just forget other monsters exist. I don't know, genuinely, okay? I don't know when the last time I fought a how do you say it? Blangonga, right? The snow monkey, or a Gypsaros. I don't know when the last time I fought those guys. I don't actively hunt them. The only time I do is if they're part of a dual hunt, and I don't think I've ever had a decent dual hunt with those monsters in there. So I think I've only fought them a single time each. Overall, I'm sure they'll add more enjoyable content in the future. I'm hoping for something like a Koltaroth, if you guys remember that from World. Ooh, Behemoth. I'm looking for a Behemoth, right? Something that's group content that makes you want to do it as a group, or it's more fun like that. I think Behemoth is sick. We need a Behemoth. Okay. I mean, the thing is, I could always dip into speedrunning if I really wanted to, but that speedrunning's not for everyone, and I don't think it's for me either. I mean, it's fun to do hunts as fast as I can, but I'm not part of that min-maxing speedrunning type of style. But it is what it is. So I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a break from games so it doesn't burn you out. And there's also no rush trying to get into the true end game, and there's no pressure to even farm for perfect builds, right? So this is like this was just the realization I had as I was thinking about how many hours I put into this game so far, and how many I've put into previous titles when they came out, right? It's just a gripe that I had that I just needed to voice out into the world, my issues with the current Monster Hunter. And I guess I miss when I used to play the games not an insane amount, but more than this, and it didn't feel so tedious and repetitive in the other titles. But anyways, I'll shut up now. Happy hunting.